Howdy, and welcome. If y'all are interested in learning a little bit more about the Kahaka 25, well, just keep on watching then. Now entering Deep Theta. All right, welcome back, and thanks for choosing to come along. So, what I'd like to discuss today is a little bit of philosophy on backpacks. Talk a little bit about what works for me and what might work for you. We'll go into a quick little sample loadout for this new Savotta backpack. What this video is not going to be is a detailed overview of all the specifications and the features, because those videos already exist, and my purpose for this video is to add value, add something unique, and give some service to the community that doesn't already exist. And so if you want a more in-depth review of the specifications, the pocket configuration, then I would highly recommend go checking out Tim Key's as well as the Endurance Room channel. Jess as well as Tim, they seem like fantastic blokes, and they've produced very, very high quality videos, probably much higher quality than I'm capable of at the moment, that will give you exactly what you're looking for. But this is going to be a more casual conversation, and I'm hoping to just add something unique to the community here. So, starting with philosophy, I'm a bit of a minimalist, and I did walk the path one day to try and have a one pack rules all, and I found that it didn't really work for me. There's just always some degree of compromise, and because I live in a cold climate, the requirement for a very large backpack is it's unavoidable, to be completely honest with you. And so I would just find myself walking around with so much extra space that wasn't being used, paired with the fact that I live a town country lifestyle, which means I still go to meetings, I still interact with people, I see family, I see friends, I do go into the city reluctantly, and I need a pack that can do that appropriately, respectfully. I don't always like showing up to the pub or grandma's house smelling like smoke or covered in mud. I've tried it doesn't work. If it works for you, that's great, but for me it didn't. And so I've decided to go a little bit specialized with my approach to backpacks. The way I now operate is I have a Daypack for town and country usage. Basically, that means traveling, something that comes with me on the airplane, something that just goes into the back of the car when I need to move some of my electronics and maybe a jacket or something like that. Something that goes with me into urban scenarios, but also in country settings. When I say country, I mean going into the outdoors. So that could mean going on a day hike. For me, bushcraft is not day hike. So for me, bushcraft is I'm going out on the land, I'm starting a fire, most likely. I'm doing some craft elements, I'm going off-piste, off-trail as it were. And day hikes just don't fall into that category. They follow a trail. I'm usually with people who are just not into bushcraft, and so using that day pack for hiking allows me to actually go out into nature, but also then seamlessly transmit back into the city without having to do up any cleanup, without having to air anything out. It's a very low maintenance approach, but also this day pack is something that I use for skiing, particularly lift serviced skiing, as well as backcountry, as long as it's not overnight. So my Daypack is actually my most versatile pack. It's my most used pack. And I have two others. I have in the middle there is the Fjällräven Stuben, and that is a purpose-built hunting pack. I use it for hunting, and I also use it for bushcraft. Now, what's really cool about this pack is it has a built-in rectangular frame, and you can just sit on it. And what I really like about that is if I've gone off trail and I'm going to have a bushcraft day out on the land, I reach a perfect setting. There's very rarely anywhere to sit. And yeah, I could bring a sitting pad, or yeah, I could make something, but sometimes I've been hiking for a while, I don't really know where I am, and I would just like to take a break and be comfortable. Also, my legs are pretty long, and what's nice about the height of this bag is I actually have my thighs, which are parallel with the ground, and so this makes a really great working surface, and it's very comfortable. It's a very, very sturdy pack. It's made of the G1000 material. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm really, really happy with it. I also use it for bushcraft as well, so that means that if I am going out, this gets dirty. This bag is almost permanently dirty, and it doesn't mean I don't take care of it. It doesn't mean I don't clean it. It is always dirty. It always smells like smoke, and that's just the way that it is. What's also really great about it is if I am purposely going nature watching or like animal watching or hunting, you can set this up right at the base of a tree. You can sit there, you can be perfectly still, and you can be comfortable. I've been on enough turkey hunts to know that just sitting on the ground with a rifle mounted on my knee, sometimes for close to or over an hour, just isn't comfortable. What I can do is I can have my firearm, okay? I can sit somewhere, I can get comfortable, and I can just have my firearm ready. Okay, that's a huge advantage. That's a huge advantage, and it makes things a lot more comfortable. So a lot of practicality with this, but the main criteria for me, whether it's clothing or equipment that's bushcraft related, is the maintenance. I own several of these Trangia pots, and that is because one of them stays with the actual set that doesn't go in a fireplace, and one of them does go in a fireplace. And the one that goes in a fireplace has its own bag, because if anything's been on the fire, as you know, if it touches anything, it's instantly dirty. It's also why I'm using gloves right now. These are my bushcraft gloves, because they're always dirty. Everything is maintained, everything is serviced properly, everything is respected, but the bushcraft equipment is always dirty, okay? So, Daypack, bushcraft. Hunting, skiing, travel, urban, whatever else, okay? So, you may be asking what this is. And that is the Versatility Assault Pack 25, okay? That is an excellent pack. It's the Daypack that I've been using for the past, year plus or so. And it has been excellent. But my problems with it is that it has always been just slightly too small for me. And that is especially true whenever an insulation layer is required. So if I go skiing, and I have been skiing with that many times actually. When I go skiing, I'll put in an insulation there, and instantly the pack just maxes out. It's very difficult to fit anything else, and I have brought with me some of my ski equipment here, and I'll show you why this Kahaka is a huge step up without incurring a lot of bulk. Now it looks bigger right now because it's fully stacked, but when this is not loaded up, it's actually a really trim pack, which makes it perfect for urban or meetings or just more social situations that aren't in the outdoors. So really cool improvement in value there for me. Last pack is the overnight pack. So this would be like a 60 to 80 liter plus pack. I can fit pretty much whatever I need in there, and that is my overnight pack. Could I do an overnight in this? absolutely I could, but I'm not the type of person that likes to load packs up to their capacity. I don't like having to fit things into the bag a certain way. I like having about 15 to 20% surplus space for items to just kind of move around and just overall comfort. So if I'm going for an overnight, I take my overnight bag. It's as simple as that. Again, overnight bag, always dirty. This, sometimes dirty, but mostly always clean. So that's kind of an overview of the philosophy of why I selected this pack and how it fits into my assortment. Okay, great. So if you're like me and you are evaluating whether or not you want to purchase this pack and whether it's right for you, then you're probably also looking at the Yakari small from Savotta as well, because at first glance they actually appear pretty similar. And I don't think you would be incorrect to assume that. So what I did was I actually reached out to Savotta to just clarify the differences between the two packs, and I'm actually going to read you both emails because from myself and the response from them, because it was tremendously helpful, and I'd like to thank Savotta for responding quickly, but also going into the level of detail that you did, because that made my purchase decision so easy. So I reached out to them with this. Hi team, I was intrigued by your team's decision to create another pack. I would greatly appreciate learning from your perspective what unique or enhanced purpose the Kahaka 25 serves that the Yakari S does not. The Kahaka appears more versatile, and perhaps your answer is as simple as that, which is fine with me. Excited for your response. Thank you very much and best wishes. Next day, I receive a message back from Savotta that says, thank you for your message and interest onto our products. Both Yakari and Kahaka 25 has similar size and purpose, but Kahaka 25 is a more improved version with better carrying system and developed modularity. Key details. Yakari S is a very simple product, quick and easy to use, and packs up empty into a small space, so it can also be used as an additional backpack when you travel with bigger backpack or luggage. The Yakari S is also well suited as an everyday means of transport for any small needs as a shopping bag, school bag, etc. Still, the Yakari S is very adaptable to even bigger needs with the help of the very comprehensive PAL system and numerous different mole pockets. In terms of carrying characteristics, the Yakari S is surprisingly good, even though it does not come with a chest strap or a hip belt as standard. And the shoulder straps are only 40 millimeter webbing without extra padding. For small shifts, it's easy to just throw it on your back and it's just fine to carry. But on longer marches, of course, even better carrying ergonomics is more comfortable. Then this individual recommended actually the MPP foam mat, and he or she linked me several YouTube videos, unaffiliated YouTube videos, showing off the Yakari S, which is just a great service element there. This person continues to say that the Kahaka 25 is a new generation military backpack with very good carrying properties, good modularity, and more pockets right away without additional purchases. There has been nothing but praise for this new product, and I dare to recommend it, especially if you want to do longer day trips with a reasonably large load. Kahaka has a good size, and it stays sharp. It stays in sharp shape even when empty, and that is true. This bag maintains its structure when it's empty, and that was one of my criteria for the Daypack, because the Sarma doesn't have that. It doesn't really stand up on its own. I wouldn't say it's unstructured, because the front pockets on it help it stand up a little bit, but it's closer to unstructured than it is structured, and this is closer to structured than it is not structured. This is a structured pack, so you actually have the spectrum represented well there. The modularity is totally in its own class. You can adjust and change almost everything of this backpack as you need and wish. And again, this person links me to Tim Key's review, actually. In the end, the choice is, of course, in your own hands, and it's not wrong even if you take both, as even if they are similar size, they serve a bit different need. I hope this answer and information is helpful for you, and don't hesitate to ask more if you need further information. I'm glad if I can help. Thank you. Wow. That That is customer service. That's customer service, okay? Friendly, fast, informative. And my decision is easy. Like I was certain I was going to pick this over the Yakari S, but that tipped the balance. So why not the Yakari S? So as you heard, I would say in summary the Yakari is a little bit more specialized for portability and modularity in usage with other packs. I think it's actually really cool that bag can be rolled into a little handheld format and transported. That's gonna be great if you're gonna be traveling with it on an airline, but and I'm certain that there's very good combat applications for that as well. But for me, I have owned the Yakari M and the L, and the conclusion that I arrived at was that those two packs, despite their fantastic quality and commemorable performance, they're just slightly too specialized for military uses for me. I understand that they are very popular in the bushcraft community for their durability, for their performance. I have nothing against these packs. It's just I'm very particular, and if I feel like there's an opportunity to improve the fit of how I use it and how the item is used in my everyday and how versatile it is, then I'm probably going to make the switch. And so I ended up selling those, and honestly I haven't thought about them since, and it ended up being the right call. Ultimately, having all of those PALS channels is great for modularity, but if you're not using them, it's extra weight, and I find those packs just a little bit too clunky for urban use. Like they are purpose-built military packs. And do you need 1,000 denier cordura? I would argue that you don't, unless you are genuinely in combat scenarios. This is a mixture of 500 and 300 cordura. That's much more appropriate for civilians or bushcraft. And I don't know how many times I've seen the comment, well, I need a bomb-proof bushcraft pack. Well, I think the only people who need bomb-proof packs are people who are literally being exposed to bombs. So combat professionals. I can appreciate the want for durability, but like my parents have plenty of backpacks that are made by a very general Canadian outdoor retailer that are nothing special. There's no cordura. These packs are older than I am, or close to it, and they look just fine because they know how to service their equipment. And if you know how to service your equipment, then you could actually get away with something that's not 1,000 denier cordura. Like it's totally realistic. So just something to consider there. But I did feel that the Yakari S was just a little bit too specialized, didn't have the level of versatility that this pack did, and I'm feeling really good about that decision, to be completely honest with you. I think it was the right call. Okay, so let's do a little sample loadout here. This is going to be a bit of a Frankenstein loadout. It's not going to necessarily be what I would ever take with me all at the same time, but I wanted to load this pack up with some items that would accompany me on several different outings, just so I can show you how these items fit. So we'll start with the pockets here. When I am skiing, I love having a hot water bottle. Hot water is not only a safety consideration, but it's just a really nice luxury. So I have a 1 liter Stanley here, and I will heat up water and I'll put it in there in the morning and I'll bring it with me. This thing is awesome because you just pour into this little cup here. And first of all, the water that comes out of here is piping hot, and having this little cup allows it to cool off a little bit, but it also lets you control your portions too, and you can share with other people as well. This is a really nice bit of kit. It comes with me winter camping as well, and I really recommend it. I thought I had an Algene Blackhawk on that side, but I don't. It could absolutely fit it. These pockets are enormous. I will wager to say that these are the best side pockets on a backpack that doesn't have a closure. I think they're really, really well executed. In this side, we have a 14-inch hatchet, forest hatchet from Hultafors with a GBA bra on it. This fits really nicely. There's an opportunity here to put some shock cord just so that can be secured at the top, because these two points to regulate the width of the pocket and also increase the security of the item. Obviously the support ends below this point, and so having a little bit of shock cord or just something there to secure that, I think would be a good move. This is the handle off a shovel. When I am skiing, I bring a shovel. It doesn't matter if there's an avalanche risk or not. I just think that this is a really good item to bring. It's not that heavy, and it fits. An Algene Blackhawk fits perfectly. And a Gomboy Curve. All fits really easily. Lots of space in there. Pocket at the back here. Okay, and this, have some coffee. And we also have a sharpening stone. Moving into the main compartment, we have the bit for our shovel. We have what is possibly the most versatile and important of the cover elements in your 5Cs. This is the Versatility thermal cloak and a 200-gram Clima shield. I'm just so impressed with that item. It's ridiculous. Spare base layers. You'll notice there's a bit of a theme here. This is a bit of a cold weather theme, so whether I'm hiking, whether I'm skiing in cold weather, I think these are really important items to have. But they're also very bulky items, which is why I have included them today. A meal ready to go. Well, it requires heating, of course. This is a little emergency kit. I typically don't carry these unless I'm really kind of going off grid. There's signaling, navigation, there's something to sleep in, there's something to sleep on, headlamp, tape, fire starting, cordage, no tent stakes in here. I rarely use this, but I know it's something that people like, so I put it in. And then we have the old trusty 25. And that is a really great example of what fits into here. It expands so well. It contracts so well. It really is a nice, versatile little pack, and I'm tremendously impressed with the flexibility of this. I just have there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to serve me for many years and in many different applications. Yes, and I almost forgot, one of the most important things for everyday use. Does this fit a laptop? Now, I looked at the dimensions online. I decided to take the risk. Ultimately, this pack would not be usable if it can't fit my Hummer-sized laptop. And the answer is, yes, it does. And it has about that much space on the side of it, too. That's a lot of clearance. It has good horizontal clearance, very good vertical clearance as well. This, for reference, is a 16-inch laptop. So no concerns there. Really, really happy with that. So not bad, right? Yeah, I thought you might like it. So obviously the next question is going to be price, because that's probably the only thing that's standing in your way from purchasing this. If it was $2, you'd buy it, but it's not $2. In fact, it is 200 euros, 209 euros to be exact. And for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. And I can appreciate that. But one thing I would like to point out is time horizon. This is something that a lot of people do not consider when they're making an investment. What is the time horizon? Well, I'll tell you, I'm in a position now where if I can't get at least a decade out of something, I'm probably never going to buy it. And there's several reasons for that. Number one is I just don't like to always have to replace things. Number two, I feel like it's the responsible thing to do. And number three, it forces me to keep my purchases to a minimum. It's so easy to get carried away with just getting in that cycle of buying something all the time, every new season. I know it's what these companies want. Savotta doesn't. I know that's what a lot of these companies want, but I was in a space like that where I was buying a lot of stuff, and it's tiresome, to be completely honest with you, and it's not beneficial to anybody when we're constantly consuming and throwing things away and buying new things. And sure, the accounting departments are happy with it, but it's not a good thing. And so I think when someone considers that this will last longer than your body on Earth, I'm pretty certain about that. Okay, these are really, really tough, and they're going to last longer than you will, assuming you take care of it, and assuming you are not in a military application, because those are the only people who genuinely need something like this and genuinely might destroy it. But if you're anything but that, chances are, if you take care of it, it's going to last you a very long time. And so if this was to last at least a full decade, that ends up not being much money at all per year to use something like this. And if this is your go-to, if this is your daily pack, if you're using this 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week for years and years and years, if this travels with you to distant lands and it accompanies you on adventures and helps you live a more full life, well, they could charge more for this and I would still buy it. That's the reality. Maybe I'm alone on that, I don't know. But I think the price is totally reasonable. And that kind of leads me to something else I wanted to discuss, which is, do I need a pack like this? The answer is absolutely not. And that is because most of our purchases are in the wants category. Most of our purchases are wants. We humans truly actually don't need that much. But in order to live a more fuller expression of life, we need to accumulate items. We need to do things, and we have to buy things in order to do that. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. However, there is a balance point for that concept to be true. There is such thing as overconsumption. You have to decide what's right for you in terms of where that balance point is. But for me, 3 packs, day, hunt, overnight, and they're going to last a very long time because I take great care of my equipment. I go hard on them, but I take care of them. That is not overconsumption for me. And all of these packs get used frequently. That's the best part. I don't have gear that's just sitting around doing nothing. I use my stuff. And I like that because I've been in a position where I've accumulated too much and I wasn't using them, and I legitimately just felt bad. I felt bad that I had this great equipment and I just was not using it. And so I think what I would instead ask, instead of do I need this, I would instead ask, does this bag align with my values? Okay. So for me, I value durability, I value versatility, I value craftsmanship, and I value tradition. And I think Savotta checks off all those boxes and passes all those tests with flying colors. I really do. I really, really do. There is never going to be a question about whether or not Savotta packs are durable. That will never be a question. It never crosses my mind if something Savotta makes is going to be durable, because it's their tagline, built to endure, or something like that. Okay, that is not to be taken lightly. These guys are putting their reputation on the line, and their tagline is built to endure. So it just means that they're going to push their equipment far greater than probably any of us ever will. So durability, check. Versatility. Yes, I feel the Yakari systems are a little bit more specialized for military uses, but they're still extremely versatile. It's like choosing between two really nice cars. They're both good. It's just one might fit your needs a little bit better. And in this case, this versus the Yakari systems, this just works a little bit better. That's all. They're both great. They're both versatile. And if anything, the Yakari, well, I don't want to say it's more versatile, but the fact that you can attach whatever you want to that thing, I think is a really interesting point. And if you're someone that needs that functionality, there's probably nothing else that will serve that need for you. Craftsmanship. Okay. These bags are built very well by a company that has been manufacturing backpacks since the 50s. And their experience shows. It just shows. These guys and girls know exactly what they're doing. And what I like about them also is the idea of tradition. I'm not sure if they're still producing traditional packs anymore, but they're still in the tradition of backpack manufacturing. And they still produce in the EU. Yes, not everything's made in Finland. And in fact, I don't even know where this bag's made, but everything's still made in the EU in a time where companies are moving their production across the seas and away from this is made in Estonia. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Still in the EU. I'm certain, I hope, I trust workers have good environment, are being paid a fair enough wage. In these times, I don't think anybody's earning enough money, but it doesn't mean companies can just start paying everybody huge sums of money. There needs to be a fair trade there, and well, I won't say whose fault it is that prices are as high as they are, but it shouldn't come as a surprise that most things are unaffordable, and a lot of salaries are not adequate these days, and that's just how it is. But I'm trusting that Savotta follows an ethical, sustainable approach to how they employ. And I have no reason to believe otherwise, to be completely honest with you. So you have durability, you have versatility, craftsmanship, and tradition, all in one pack. And I think that's a really rare combination. I think it's a really rare combination. I think overall, consumer mindsets are changing, values are changing. I think the days of made in China are, I don't want to say they're behind us, but I think they're soon going to be behind us, because people are starting to realize that if you don't make anything, you're in a pretty precarious position. And especially in the West, we don't make things anymore. The Americans are still pretty good at it, but even them, like, everybody is outsourcing their production. And so we need to bring creation back to our own countries. Not because I don't like the Chinese or the Taiwanese or these offshore places. It doesn't matter. All people are equal. It's just a matter of where are your priorities. Is this something you're doing to save a buck, or are you doing this to genuinely improve the service that you're rendering to the community? In some cases, yeah, production needs to go to China for scale, for production scale. Sometimes it has to happen. I was recently in the market for hiking boots because at age 34 my feet grew again somehow. And up until this point I've been using the Lundhaug's Forest 2, which those are bulletproof boots. I absolutely love them. But when I returned to purchase them in a larger size, I learned that the company had been sold and production had been moved to Portugal. And that initially wasn't okay with me, to be completely honest with you. But I thought about it a little bit more, and the Portuguese, they're good. They're known for their footwear, and there's a lot of great shoes made in Portugal. So it's not the worst thing in the world. So I actually ended up buying a replacement pair, and the pair that I had previously owned were made in Sweden. This pair were made in Portugal, and I opened the box and I looked at them and just thought, you know what, bear with me here. The soul of this product has changed. Not the physical soul, S-O-U-L. The soul of the product had changed, and it just wasn't the same. It was something non-physical. It's something that couldn't be described. And these packs still have their soul. Now, I can appreciate that not everybody may be able to empathize with that train of thought, but I think when you develop a connection to your equipment, you do actually see that they have a personality, they have their own characteristics, and they are people on a certain level. And I really like that about Savotta. They haven't compromised who they are in order to give in to this trend of outsourcing and chasing money. At least from my understanding, they haven't done it. So I really congratulate Savotta on that. I want to thank Savotta for creating just these great products that help people live a better life. And yes, they're kind of in the business of war, but and I don't support war. It's just it's a necessity at the moment, and I think we're moving to a point where it won't be as much of a necessity in the future. But that doesn't mean they're not going to be producing great equipment. They're going to live. They're going to survive as long as they remain true to who they are. They are going to go very, very far into the future, and I'm excited for what's next. I'd also like to thank just the bushcraft community as a whole. I mean, I have made tremendous leaps in awareness and experience because of the great content that is published out there with direct relation to this bag. I want to thank Jess at Endurance Room as well as Tim Keys for creating excellent content. You guys helped me actually decide that this bag was going to be right for me, and you guys also produced some other really great stuff. So a big thank you for that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little chat, and if there's anything that you'd like me to cover in more detail, then just let me know. I'd be more than happy to provide that service for you. But until next time, I hope you're feeling well, and I hope you're moving closer to whatever goal that you've set for yourself in life. Until next time, see you then.